Transfer rumors had linked him potentially to Barcelona. That would have given him a chance to play in the Champions League. He's just 26 years old. So does it feel a little too soon for him to possibly be going over there?
That's crazy.
It does until you look at his career. Ruben Neves, he was the captain for Porto at 18 years old and then moved to Wolves, who were at the time in the championship. He's been there since then. He's come up with them from the championship, obviously. But his agent is Jorge Mendes. And if you know anything about Jorge Mendes, he is all about that bag. And I think that, I'm not going to make an overarching statement about his career, but I think this is probably for the money. And most of the moves seem to have been, let's get paid. And who am I to? I do not blame him one bit. If you're you only have so long in this career. You only have so many chances to run up a bag, to take care of your family, and this is life-changing generational money that they're offering. So if at 26 years old he wants to go get paid bigly, I'm all for it.
Agreed, but it feels different, this one, compared to the others, because we just had Michelle say, from Barcelona to Al Hilal, which is just a crazy dynamic, especially at that age. Okay, and N'Golo Kante makes so much sense. The guys won it all, fair play, that's fine, and I agree with you. Who are we to say anything about what they want to do? I'm just saying it's crazy that they're even going after 26-year-olds at this point.
For me, it's very, very similar to when Oscar went to China from Chelsea. I think Saudi Arabia is in kind of a similar position.
What they used to do.
They're picking off some of these players that may not necessarily care as much about playing in Europe rather than going to get money. They like an Anderson Talisca who played for Porto. He is now in Saudi Arabia. They have a lot of these type of players that would have maybe played in China before all that changed. Like a Hulk. If this was 2023 and Hulk was 23 years old, or
they'd go after him.
He would be one of those types of players.
Do you think in some ways this is opening a new window that we're going to see for more players to go to Saudi that are younger? Because yes, you look at it and you think this may be a strange move, but then you think who he is going to be playing up and with now.
I think
Benzema,
we will start to see
Kante.
probably more of them. We won't see like a ton of players who would be in European contention go, but we will see more of them.
It's got to be a bubble, though. This has to be a bubble.
No, see, I think what's happening, because obviously this has happened in the past, but not to this extent. They've been undeniably on a spending spree. 100%. And I think they're seeking to shift the perspective, right? Yeah. Because if they have more than a handful of players that are now coming from all of Europe's bigger leagues, it's going to be more enticing to those younger players because you're going to essentially chase the talent. Yeah. And you want to play among players who you admire and respect, especially when they're younger, right? You're not just going to go for a season or two, which by all means he could, right?
But didn't they try to, like the Chinese league tried to do this, and then from what I heard, it fell apart. Players were not, and coaches from what I heard, were not even getting paid what they were talked about getting paid. I'm not saying that's what's going to happen in Saudi Arabia, but it does feel like this little moment in time where we're all talking about it, but will it last?
There are a ton of similarities, and I don't have a crystal ball.
Do you think it'll last?
I think that this is a lot more strategic.
How is it sustainable? Like some of the numbers that I'm seeing are mind-boggling. Like Koulibaly, 90 million over 3 years.
Because I think what they're doing is shifting some of the monies they've invested in the bigger leagues into themselves, and now they're luring talent over. I think this is a lot more strategic this time around for my point.
The end goal is 2030. They want the World Cup.
Right.
So this is sports washing, and what you do is bring some of these players, and they talk about how good the country is.
But are we still going to watch? Like, are we really going to watch it?
So
like,
people will watch. People will watch. If there's football on, people will watch it. And if there are players that people know, they will watch it.
Will you watch over there? So.
Probably.
Are you going to watch?
I thought I would watch when Ronaldo was there, to be honest. When I saw it, I was like, okay, I'm going to tune in. I haven't watched the game.
I think that
I'm not going to like follow it super closely, but I will
check
because there are players that I know, and that's how it works, unfortunately.